for us all, I'm sure. We'll let that get going here. Looks like we are now officially recording. So I want to welcome you all to our 7th teaching and coaching webinar. I want to go ahead and thank you all for joining us here today. It's our last scheduled one for the time being. We do plan on keeping the series going, just kind of at a maybe less frequent amount of times and etc. But do want to go ahead and welcome Brad Redding, our 6-time Tennessee PGA Teacher of the Year. I want to thank him for being here today, and I'm going to go ahead and just turn it over to him.
I appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. I want to let you know that my presentation today is going to be more about the anatomy of the golf lesson, and I'll do it by PowerPoint. I will take questions at the end, but if you feel like you need to write down some questions at the very, very end, that'd be great to help me answer any questions you might have. I'll go ahead and start presenting now. Way. Can everybody see that? Oh, can you see that?
Yep, it just came through.
Great. So the anatomy of a golf lesson, this won't be more on not swing theory. Everybody has their own style and their own theory and method, if you want to call it, about the golf swing. My presentation is more about the things I do to give a golf lesson, the kind of the procedures I do for a lesson, which you might pick up some ideas that might help you. So in this presentation, I'm talking about the beginning of a lesson, the pre-lesson and the interview, then the analysis and diagnosis, do a little explanation, ball correction, find the cause, 3 issues, correction, find the opposite, hands-on, and feedback, and then I'll close and review about what we're doing here. In the beginning, I think that having an online booking system for me is very important. One, it lists all my instruction programs. The student can book on their own, which I think is a huge thing in this day and age of letting them book on their own. Aids in building a database for me as far as my newsletter. It sends a confirmation of the lesson to everyone, and I can use it on my computer, tablet, or phone. So all those things I think are important. I use Smarter Lessons. There's a bunch of them out there. USchedule, Booking Live. But I think it's important to have one because, again, they can book on their own. And that to me is probably the biggest thing. They book on their own because, again, I found more and more of my younger students book on their own. They don't want to get on the phone and talk to me. They want to actually book it. So when I do the booking, it sends me an email. And I send the students a student profile. The student profile is a pretty simple system where I just contact information, golf history. It gives me a little bit of a head start. So when I do, let's say I have 5 new lessons on a day, I'll have those student profiles laying on my desk, and I've already got some information about them. And when they come in, we'll sit down and talk about that student profile. So on the left there is my student profile, and I think you can build your own, but those are some ideas you can have about what I do. I talk about ball flight tendencies. I want to know what the ball flight tends to do as far as, low, high, left, right, or straight. I want them to describe their divots, their face contact, of course, their physical limitations, and their goals, short-term and long-term. And I also want to have it on their social media sites. That way I can maybe send them a really good lesson with someone and they make a huge change. I'll ask them if it's okay for them to put that on my social sites, and they say, sure, I'd love to see that on. So those questions about ball flight tendencies, describe your divots and face contact, this kind of gives me a head start on what's going on in their swing. In the past, I think people have tendencies as far as their their ball flight, divots, face contact, and from those three answers, I kind of already get a head start on what's going on in their swing. Um, I've been fortunate enough to be on the Golf Channel and have my own radio show, and from those things, I can ask questions about those three things, and I kind of get already a head start on what's going on. Um, For the interview process from the student profile, I'm going to develop a relationship. Again, we talk about the student profile, but I want to develop a little bit of a relationship with them. I think that relationships in teaching, as far as us as golf instructors, having a relationship makes them feel more that at ease, makes them feel more like that we have a connection, and I'm really there to help. Um, the questions go much more beyond just golf. I'm going to discuss maybe their family, married, kids, um, things like that are really important because when I have that kind of stuff, and maybe in the interview process, he'll say, my son is a really good football player. He played in the state championship last week. How did he go? And then the next lesson, I'll say, how's your son doing with football? It just makes it more where I have a relationship with them. And then, of course, I'm going to discuss them the lesson process, what actually happens in the lesson as far as what we do. So in a lesson, I work all my lessons this way in terms of what I want to do. I'm going to do an analysis and then diagnosis. Okay, I always start with ball flight and work backwards. When someone comes for a lesson, they're there to do one thing: make the golf ball do something better. Whether it be putting, chipping, bunker play, they want the golf ball to do something better. So I always start with ball flight and I work backwards. So I find out what's going on at impact to cause that ball flight. And I am definitely a path and face kind of teacher. How you do it yourself is up to you. I'm a face and path teacher. I'm going to work a lot on what the club does and what the face does. So by looking at the downswing as far as the path and the face, I can get a good idea of what's happening at impact. I back up again. I said, now what's happening in the backswing, again with path and face, that might cause the downswing. And I back up again. Is there anything I'd address that might be causing the backswing? So I always want to back up to find the real problem. I don't want to make compensations. I don't want to do band-aids. I want to actually fix the problem. And people, going through this process of showing them how I give a lesson and explaining to them how I actually teach helps them understand where I'm coming from. I use my eyes and ears a lot. Contacts with my ears, eyes. I've seen enough golf swings in my lifetime that my eyes can determine what's going on pretty fast. I don't use just my eyes, but again, I use my eyes and ears a lot. I want to see a short iron, a mid iron, and a driver because the driver tends to what I would call exaggerate the error, tends to make it the real ball flight shows up. I can sit out there all day long, hit a wedge, and I'm not going to see a whole lot of the result as far as ball flight. The swing is the same, but the ball flight I don't see because of the loft on it. I want to see a driver for sure. I get club information, what I call telltale signs. I was doing a guy a lesson one time, and I'm just kind of casually looking at his clubs while he's hitting golf balls, getting warmed up. And I noticed on his driver, he's got all these sky marks on his driver. And again, I'm just casually looking at him, and he's hitting shots. We're talking a little bit, and he's hitting maybe a 7 iron out there. And I look over at him and I say, "Hey, Paul, you ever scout your driver?" He said, "Yeah." "How'd you know that?" Well, I was just casually looking at his driver. It's not like I'm some kind of magician. He says, "Man, this guy can tell what's happening with my driver by me hitting 7 irons." No, I'm just very observant of what was going on. So those are what I call telltale signs about what's going on. I do use technology. I use video. I think that most of us these days are using video. I think the cameras you use are very important. I actually use a camera that runs at 350 frame rates per second per minute, and that allows me to catch impact every time with the camera. I think camera angles are hugely important. Um, I got a chance to spend some time with Ben Dole. For those of you who don't know who Ben Dole was the first authorized instructor of the golfing machine. And I got a chance to talk to him about teaching, and it was just a great conversation we had about put your camera when you video a golf swing. He said, Brad, what do you want to see? I said, well, I want to see the path of the club, the swing plane, if you will, the swing angle. And he says, well, what you want to do is get out a plane board, which is, we all know what that is. It's a plane board, pretty big piece of wood, and it's got the U or the semi-moon cut in the middle. And he says, when you set that plane board down, if you get down the line, what you want to see with your camera is just the edge of that plane board. You don't want to see the top of it. You don't want to see the bottom of it. You don't want to see the legs. You want to see just that edge of the plane board, and that way you have a good angle. So I found out that if I put the camera about hands high and in between their ball line and foot line, I get that angle at a time. Obviously, I can't sit down that plane board every time. Lessons will last an hour and a half, 2 hours. So if I do it that way, I found that I get really good camera angles, and I put it there every single time. I think that's hugely important. If you move your camera around, have different angles, you're going to get different views of the golf swing. I don't want to have different views. I want to have the same view every time. That way, I'm pretty secure in what's going on. I use V1. There's a bunch of them out there. JC Video is good. They have Video Technique. They have a bunch of more now these days. I just used V1 for a long time. I have a branded academy with them, and like they say, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I use V1, and it's been very good to me. I do use launch monitors. I have a quad, a GC quad. I don't have pressure mats, and I do have a 3D system. I have I use that a little bit. It's called 4D motion. I use that a little bit, not as much, because if you get too tied up in all this technology and trying to get all this information, the lesson's already over. My lessons are all 50 minutes. My private lessons are. So these systems, this technology, V1, the quad, the 4D motion, they're just information for me. And it just kind of confirms what I kind of already see. And it helps to explain to them what's going on. I don't get too tied up into it though. I want to kind of get the analysis, get the diagnosis, and get off to working on the golf game. I do use those. I think that they're all good, but they're just information. Don't get too tied up with them. So in the explanation, after we've hit some shots, I kind of get a chance to watch them hit some shots, and while they're doing that, I'm taking video of their golf swing. Again, I work backwards from ball flight. I'm going to pinpoint the 2 or 3 causes that I think I need to work on that's going to change their impact in ball flight. Again, I'm not going to do a band-aid. I'm going to explain to them exactly what's going on, and I start with ball flight with them too. And I say, John, here's your ball flight, the tendency. I say, here's where your impact is. Here's what's causing that downswing. And here's your backswing that causes your downswing. And I keep on backing up. I say, here's the issue. So it's definitely a cause and effect. Golf is, I believe, very much of an action-reaction time of motion. And I'm going to do cause and effect. The perfect stipulation is this. I don't want to make them perfect. I want to help them find a little bit of the opposite of where they were. Because if they've been hitting, golf balls that start way left and curve way right, and I want to help them understand what's going on. And I say, Paul, if we turn that whole slice into a little bit of a push draw, would that be okay with you? And they'd say, that'd be awesome, Brad. I've never hit a draw in my entire life. And I said, well, have you hit some pulls? He said, I hit pulls occasionally. but I can't curve the golf ball left to right. So I want to help them find a little bit of the opposite and make sure it's okay with them what I'm going to do. Most people who have been slicers all their life tend to say, yeah, I'd love to hit a draw. I've never done it in my life. So I find the opposite and exaggerate. I think when I change a golf swing, if they've been coming back way inside, well, if it goes back a little bit to the outside on the way back, I'd be happy with that. Help them find the opposite. Because normally, when I make a move, change them around, and I move people around a whole lot during my lessons, not as much as I used to, all this social distancing stuff, but I still move them around. Help them understand, you know, it's going to feel like this, but when you do it on your own, it won't be that extreme. But it needs to feel that extreme each time you do it. So exaggeration, I think is a good thing. Good thing. Moving people around, a good thing. Help them feel the emotion. So again, I do that. It's an explanation, helping them understand where we're going to go. I work inside my video, my studio, on the motion. Again, I do use a lot of hands-on and drills. How you do it is up to you. Um, I go back outside to see the ball flight change. I keep on moving them around out there and showing them what's going on. I video it again, and we go back inside and I show them the change. The big change, obviously, is the ball flight. I'm all about that. If I can't change what the golf ball does, I have not done my job. I've given a bad diagnosis, and I just don't do that much anymore. So right here, you see a guy. Left is before, right's after. He had some issues with his posture. We changed that. He had a few issues with his grip. We changed that. But I didn't start there. I started way back in the ball flight. And I came back to some issues here. And when I changed it, obviously you can see the before is on the left and the after is on the right. These are not staged videos here. This is actually a real golf swing. And so obviously a big change in left and big change from the left to the right. And again, I didn't stage him there. He's actually making a real golf swing from up there. I took some screenshots of the lesson. Impact, obviously different. He was definitely more on top of the plane on the way down. On the way on the right now, more of a little bit more inside move. And again, if he came too much from the inside, that would not bother me on the way down. That would actually be, a change in the ball flight. He's going to hit more pushes at first, and then push draws. So I think that some information for some golfers is good, and some information for golfers, the same information is bad. There's no question. The proper impact in golf is definitely ball and ground. I agree 100%, but not for everyone because the guy on the left is already too far in front of the golf ball. He's going to hit a lot of top shots. He's going to hit some pull fades. But on the right, the guy's going to hit a push, turn into a push draw, keep going that way. So his impact would be behind the golf ball, but shallow. Behind the golf ball, but shallow. And that'd be okay for him at this stage. Again, I want to find the opposite where he's been. You can see a big change there. And I just kind of keep on moving around. Take the video of it again before, and I show them before and after. All of a sudden, we're off to the races. He's golf ball better than he ever has. He's pretty happy. He said, Brad, why don't you hit that golf ball that kind of goes right? I said, well, Paul, it didn't go right in terms of fading right. It was a push. So much better. The impact there was better. He found more in the back of the golf ball. Again, I'm all about that. So after we do a little lesson recap, that lesson recap goes to their smartphone and their email. That way they can kind of review it on their own. And I kind of tell them, I say, look, that email you get is great, but the smartphone's even better. What I want you to do is go to the range, and I want you to watch this little 2 or 3 minute video that we did here. And I want you to watch that, and then go to the range and say, okay, I'm going to work on that. Then halfway through your practice session, look at it again. Ask yourself a question. Am I doing that? And then at the end of your practice session, look at it again and say, did I do that? I want to keep them on track here. I don't want them to add more information to it. I don't want them to to listen to their buddies and their friends. I just want them to work on the stuff that we worked on because that's what's going to really help them fix it and get better. Um, I wasn't very good at this in the first part of my career about booking another the next lesson. I didn't feel like I should do that. I felt kind of like a used car salesman. Um, what I did was say, look, I want you to work on that for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then let's do it again. So I'll go ahead and book the next lesson for them right then and there. Again, having my computer there, having my booking system up on the site there, we can book it right away. Here might be the most important thing I do with all my first time lessons. I send them a handwritten note card. It's got my logo on the front, but I send them that card, and you can't believe the number of comments I get about that. I don't send them emails. I don't send them texts. I send them. I'm old school, a handwritten note card, and they're flabbergasted by someone that they took a lesson from and send them something like that. It's been a huge aid in building my loyalty for my students. I think that they know I really care. Hank Haney, one of my mentors, said, Brad, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. He says, I don't know who said that, but I really believe in that. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And I'll live by that creed for sure. Um, so again, the online lessons are things they can do to send me lessons. I encourage them to do that. Download the V1 app on their phone. We'll do that right there in the reviews portion of this. I say, look, this is how you use the online lesson and send it off. Send me videos, which are great. One, because it keeps me in contact, and two, it's a little bit of a bonus in terms of money. I charge $25 per video I get, and it's not that much to them, and they're more than happy to do that because they know I really care and I want to stay in touch with them. Again, another way to help them understand that I do care. Now, when I do the next lesson, the B1 system is kind of great because I can review every lesson I've ever done. I can go to my website or to my V1 and review the previous lesson. So when let's say again, I got 5 guys I've worked with in the past on my lesson book, and what I'm going to do is go back and look at each one of those at the beginning of the day, and just kind of gives me a review about what I did. I'm pretty good about remembering people's faces. I'm really good about remembering people's swings. I'm not very good with names. I have to work on that, but I know what I've done with them. But I want to make sure that I say the same words and we stay on track. If you're given anywhere from 1,200 to 1,400 private lessons a year, and they're all 50 minutes. Sometimes you might have a guy that was there 6 months ago. So I review that lesson and it helps me kind of again stay on track. Um, so I do use my social media sites. I've got Brad Redding Golf for my Twitter, Brad underscore Redding underscore golf for my Instagram, B Redding. B Redding Golf. I have 2 Facebook accounts. One's my personal and one's my business. And then I actually do have a YouTube channel. Again, I think that using those kind of things are really helpful for people in contact with people. I do a little advertising on there as well. I think that helps out. Kind of some free advertising. I don't do a whole lot where I go in there and tell them. I think some guys go in there and say what they worked on this person's swing. I don't really do that. I'll send a video out saying, "Had a great session today with Paul, and we made great progress," and that's it. They kind of think that's kind of cool. You can see themselves on some Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, but I don't really talk a lot about what we worked on um, in those posts. They know what they worked on. They've got the video. It's just kind of cool to see them on those sites. So again, kind of the way I would work this is I have a beginning, the pre-lesson interview and telltale signs, analysis and diagnosis. To me, are the most important part of the lesson. The corrected, watching them hit golf balls, getting the information from your eyes, your ears, technology, and then you can give a good diagnosis. And again, the diagnosis is critical. If you give a bad diagnosis, obviously, you won't be able to fix their golf swing, and then they keep try one thing, and then try another thing, and then another thing, and all of a sudden they're going, "What did we work on? What did he say?" So I'm very clear about what I say, and I repeat things a lot because it keeps them on track. Um, so it's a little bit. You may have heard this analogy before, like a doctor. First thing you do when you go to a doctor, you walk in and he asks you, "Okay, what are your symptoms?" The main symptoms are ball flight, impact, face contact. And he does some work where he does some diagnosis. Takes your temperature, blood pressure, things like that, and that's what I do. I get some information, ball flight, video. Use a stethoscope. He's got to use his blood pressure apparatus for that, and then he takes all the information, finds out what the problem is, and then so he does a diagnosis, and he gives you a cure. He gives a little explanation, and then he gives a correction. Mine works the same way every time: analysis, diagnosis, explanation, correction. I work that way every single time. Now, how I do it are different in terms of who's got in front of me, but my basic um, process is that way each time. So, in the explanation, ball correction, find the cause. And I don't work more than two or three things. Um, if you work on nine things, they're going to fix basically nothing. They're confused by all this stuff you gave them. Um, I did some speaking engagements with the PGA, and I talked to Rick Jensen, and Rick said, "Brad, they're only going to remember about three things you tell them. They won't remember 10. So take three things and hammer those home." And I do that. I take the three things and we go over it again and again and again. They say, "Brad, what about this?" I say, "Well, that's because of this." "What about this?" "Well, that's because of this." I keep going back to the real issue. The correction. I find the opposite, hands-on feedback, and I exaggerate. I want to help them find the opposite. I found this to be true so much that even though they feel like they're making a swing that looks like to them feels like Jim Furyk, I said, "Look, it's not that way when you actually hit one." And I'll show that to him. I said, "Yeah, the rehearsal we made was a big loop in your golf swing, but again, it doesn't look that way at all when you hit a golf ball." And using that video just helped me confirm that for them. Also the launch monitoring, give me some numbers, and I can help them understand that a little bit. Be very careful though. I don't want them to get all caught up in the technology. I want them to get that ball flight straight. So at the close, I review 7 at a time, booking it 6 at a time, and then booking the next lesson. My lessons all last 50 minutes. People say, "But all that stuff you do, how many golf balls they hit?" Anywhere from 70 to 80 balls they hit, which I think is perfect. I don't want to sit there and do all this explanation and talking. This is the most talking I'll do in 50 lessons right here. I want to move them around, have them hit shots, ball flight. I'll stop occasionally to explain to them what's going on, but I don't want to spend all my time talking. I want to spend my time listening. I want to spend my time helping them obviously hit better shots. So there's my email. If you have any questions, you can send it there. That's my website, Reading Golf. And I actually include my phone number. I prefer a text. If you want to call me, I'd be happy to. If I don't answer, you know why. I'm on lesson 2. I teach 6 days a week, from Tuesday to Sunday. Sunday usually is kind of more of a half day, but I do teach that much from 9 in the morning to 7 o'clock in the evening right now. So I'm pretty busy with that, but I always answer all my emails, I answer all my texts. It may be later on in the day or later on in the evening when I get that. I would love to help any way I can. That's why I teach. I think that we become better instructors by sharing information, and I'm always happy to share. Hank Haney was one of my mentors, as you said, and no matter what people think about him and the things that he's gone through lately, he was a great friend, is a great friend, and a great mentor to me, and he was very kind in his time with me. I spent up to 2 weeks at a time with him, being his human shadow and listening to him and watch him, and he was a great mentor to me, and I can't thank him enough, and I'm always happy to give back. He was nice. I'm going to do the same thing for all people that want information. We have to share. That's my presentation. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them. Go over here and close this out so you actually can see me. Stop sharing. Go back over here. There we go. If you have any questions, guys, I would love to help any way I can from the presentation. Anyone have a question?
Everybody, feel free to either unmute yourself to ask a question, or you're more than welcome to utilize the chat feature in the upper right-hand corner. One question that I didn't get already is, are you willing to share your PowerPoint? Send that out to everybody that was on the meeting.
I can do that. That wouldn't be a problem. As long as when you get it, don't copy it in terms of giving your own presentation on it. Do your own. You can take some things that I've done, but and maybe use it as I guess you could use it as a template for your own, but don't sit there and just reverberize all the things I've said. Maybe you don't do it that way. So yeah, I'd be happy to share it though. That's not a problem. If you have any questions, I'd love to help answer anything you have to say. Oh yes, I can't do that. That would not be a problem. You can't put that. That would be a problem. Yeah. No questions, I guess, huh? I don't see anything on the top corner. Chat features.
Nothing yet.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the comment. Joe Howell and I are good buddies. Go way back. Yeah. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the comment.
Well, if anybody does have any questions, feel free to reach out to Brad. Utilize the information that he gave you to be able to reach out to him. Like he said, I've emailed with him multiple times. I'm getting ready for this, and he's always quick to get back with me. And so I'm sure he'll do the same with y'all. Thank you all again for being a part of our webinar series here. Like I said this earlier, we do want to keep these going. It just will be on a less frequent basis. If any of you on this call would like to lead one of these webinars, feel free to reach out to myself. Be happy to get you set up and get you lined up to be on one of these. I hope that you all are easing back into a new normal here as we work our way through the phases, and just want to thank you all again for being a part of this. And if you have any questions, need anything from us at the section office, feel free to reach out at any time. Happy to help any way we can.
Oh, thanks very much for your time.
Yep, thank you.
Oh, thanks very much for your time.